In the dead of night, under the shadow of looming bomber silhouettes, the hangar lights flickered on, illuminating the rows of battered B-17 bombers that had returned from perilous missions over enemy territory, their fuselages scarred with flak holes, engines rattling like wounded beasts, and crews whispering grim tales of survival against odds that seemed impossible. And there, amidst the organized chaos, a single mechanic moved with a calm certainty that belied the desperation around him. Hands steady, eyes scanning each damaged engine, every fractured component while the camera zooms in on the intricate machinery of the B-17, revealing the complex labyrinth of pistons, gears, fuel lines, and electrical systems that only someone with extraordinary knowledge could fully comprehend. And the suspense builds as the narrator explains that this mechanic was about to employ a so-called forbidden method, a sequence of repairs, adjustments, and improvisations that had been banned by protocol, considered too risky, too unconventional, and yet this very method had the potential to transform crippled bombers into fully mission-capable war machines. And the tension escalates as viewers watch him move from engine to engine, applying a combination of intuition, experience, and sheer audacity, replacing parts that technically could have been left, rerouting fuel lines in ways not documented in manuals, adjusting timing and pressure beyond standard tolerances, all the while aware that one mistake could ignite fuel, disable the bomber, or even cost lives. And the camera captures close-ups of rivets, hoses, and engine components as they are manipulated with meticulous precision, the metallic clinks echoing like a countdown toward survival or disaster. While the narrator emphasizes the stakes, each bomber he touches carries the lives of airmen who depend on him to return home from flak-ridden skies, enemy fighters and missions where loss rates were catastrophically high, and the suspense deepens as we see the ripple effect. His actions, though technically forbidden, restore engines to levels thought impossible, stabilize fuel delivery, and prevent catastrophic failures that would have grounded the bombers or sent them spiraling into the depths of the European theater, while workers and fellow mechanics watch in disbelief, half in fear of the consequences, half in awe of the results, and the audience begins to sense the monumental impact. This is more than repair work. It is human ingenuity defying rules, risk transforming into precision, and audacity becoming a lifeline. While the camera pans across the hangar, capturing rows of B-17s that now hum with renewed power, engines running smoother, controls responding with deadly accuracy, and every crew member preparing for the next mission, unaware of the near-miraculous intervention that has made their survival possible. And the tension escalates further as the narrator details the technical genius. Rerouted hydraulics reduce stress, engine tweaks maximize fuel efficiency, and subtle adjustments in propeller pitch allow bombers to fly longer, higher, and faster, all while the method remains technically forbidden, a defiance of protocol that now saves lives and missions, leaving viewers on edge, captivated by the cinematic spectacle of precision, risk, and human brilliance as the mechanic moves from plane to plane, a quiet hero whose decisions ripple outward, ensuring that the B-17s can once again take to the skies, striking enemy targets, returning safely, and cementing the fact that one individual's forbidden innovation can tilt the balance of survival and victory in a war where every second, every adjustment, and every act of ingenuity matters. And as the camera lingers on the final bomber leaving the hangar, engines roaring with renewed strength, the audience is left holding their breath, utterly immersed in the suspense of a single mechanic who, by breaking the rules, ensures that planes fly, crews live, and history itself is quietly reshaped in the shadows of the night. While Point One continues to expand with intricate details of each adjustment, every risk taken, and the cascading consequences of forbidden genius, promising the next revelations of courage, skill, and the miraculous survival of the B-17 fleet in the face of overwhelming odds. As the hangar filled with the metallic hum of engines being coaxed back to life, the mechanic moved like a conductor orchestrating a symphony of survival, because every adjustment he made, every forbidden tweak, was a calculated gamble between disaster and salvation, and the suspense escalates as the narrator guides viewers into the microscopic details. how minute adjustments to fuel lines stabilize pressure, how subtle realignments of pistons prevent overheating under extreme stress, how rerouting electrical pathways allows critical systems to function despite battle damage, and how these interventions, though banned by regulation, maximize the B-17's reliability and operational range, while the camera captures rivets being tapped, hoses being reconnected, panels being tightened with precision that borders on obsession, and the audience senses the weight of every decision. Understanding that a single miscalculation could send a bomber spiraling into the sea or enemy territory. And yet the mechanic's hands move with uncanny confidence, experience distilled into instinct, improvisation guided by knowledge that few could comprehend. As the narrator emphasizes the stakes, each bomber carries men who have faced flak, fighters and impossible odds, relying entirely on the ingenuity of one human mind to survive the next mission. And the tension mounts further as the camera pans across crews watching from the cockpit and hangar bays, their anxious expressions slowly transforming into awe as they witness engines, previously declared inoperable, roar to life with newfound vigor, propellers spinning smoothly, gauges stabilizing, controls responding with flawless precision, and the audience is drawn into the cinematic drama of human ingenuity, courage, and audacity, while the narrator details how these forbidden methods have cascading effects. Flight time extended, engine failure minimized, mission survivability increased, and maintenance schedules rewritten as this one mechanic's defiance of convention proves that rules can be bent without compromising safety, and perhaps even enhancing it. And as the camera slowly sweeps through the hangar, rows of B-17s gleaming under harsh industrial lights, engines purring in unison, the suspense heightens as viewers realize that what they are witnessing is not merely repair work, but a transformation of war-fighting capability. Because each bomber that leaves the hangar intact represents lives saved, missions accomplished, and a tactical edge in a conflict where every advantage counts. And the narrator continues, emphasizing the human element behind this miracle. Sweat dripping, hands moving faster than the eye can follow, eyes scanning gauges and engine components with near-perfect memory and focus, intuition guiding actions where manuals offer no answers, defiance of protocol becoming a force multiplier, inspiring fellow mechanics and crews alike. And the suspense intensifies as the camera captures a final slow-motion sequence of the mechanic performing a delicate adjustment to a fuel pump, sparks flying from metal connections, hands trembling with the tension of absolute responsibility, while the audience realizes that this forbidden method, once thought too risky, has now ensured that B-17 bombers will continue to take to the skies against overwhelming odds, turning what seemed like certain loss into survival, and leaving viewers captivated, breathless, and utterly riveted by the story of one individual whose skill, courage, and innovation defied rules and rewrote the history of aviation maintenance and battlefield survival, while Point One continues to expand, diving ever deeper into the cascading consequences, human drama, and mechanical brilliance that define this remarkable, suspense-filled saga of forbidden ingenuity and miraculous endurance. With every bomber revived under his hands, the mechanic's forbidden method began to reveal its full magnitude, because what once seemed like reckless improvisation now demonstrated a profound understanding of the B-17's intricate systems, from engines to hydraulics, fuel delivery to electrical circuitry, and the suspense intensifies as the narrator guides viewers into the unseen battles within each machine. Pistons adjusting under pressure, valves opening and closing with renewed responsiveness, fuelines rerouted to prevent surges, and engine temperatures stabilized to withstand the rigors of combat flight, while the camera captures close-ups of metallic components glinting under the hangar lights, hands moving with surgical precision, sparks dancing as connections are secured, and the audience feels the weight of every action, understanding that the success or failure of each bomber and the lives it carries rests entirely on the mechanic's skill and audacity, and the tension escalates further as crews watch from cockpits, grips tightening, hearts pounding, witnessing engines roar back to life, gauges stabilizing, and propellers spinning with renewed vigor, realizing that a single human mind has defied protocol to create a miracle of operational readiness. While the narrator emphasizes the stakes, each B-17 that survives a mission because of this forbidden method is not just a plane saved, but a crew preserved, a mission achieved, and a vital contribution to the air campaign, with the camera sweeping across the hangar, revealing dozens of bombers humming in unison, engines synchronized, systems responding flawlessly, and the suspense deepens as the viewer appreciates the complexity of every intervention. Delicate adjustments to carburetors that prevent engine stalls at high altitude, rewiring of critical circuits to bypass damaged components, and calibration of instruments that ensure accurate navigation over enemy territory, all executed under extreme time pressure. While supervisors and fellow mechanics watch in awe, jaws tight, recognizing the sheer brilliance and risk of what they are witnessing, and the tension becomes almost unbearable as the narrator highlights the psychological impact. Crews, knowing their lives depend on flawless machinery, develop renewed trust and morale. Mechanics are inspired to rethink conventions, and the ripple effect transforms the entire production and maintenance ecosystem. While the cinematic camera pans across engines pulsating with renewed life, sparks flickering, aluminum gleaming, rivets perfectly aligned, and hands moving with a rhythm that blends art, science, and intuition. And the audience is pulled into the story's full emotional and technical depth, sensing that every decision, every adjustment, and every improvisation is a fight against impossible odds, a gamble with lives and mission success, yet executed with unwavering precision, courage, and ingenuity, leaving viewers captivated, breathless, and on the edge of their seats, as the mechanic's forbidden method proves that rules, while designed to constrain, can be surpassed by audacity and skill, ensuring that B-17 bombers continue to take to the skies, survive enemy fire, complete missions, and return home against all odds. And as Point 1 continues to unfold, the suspense, drama, and technical marvel expand further, promising even greater revelations about the genius, risk, and impact of this singular, life-saving innovation in the history of aviation warfare. As the hangar reverberated with the synchronized hum of multiple engines revived to operational life, the mechanic's forbidden method began to demonstrate its full tactical significance, because each adjustment, each seemingly audacious tweak, not only restored mechanical functionality, but also fundamentally increased the B-17's resilience against the perils of combat flight. And the suspense escalates as the narrator draws viewers closer into the intimate details. Pistons stabilized to withstand high-altitude pressures, fuel mixtures calibrated to prevent engine flameouts under enemy fire, and wiring rerouted with flawless precision to ensure that navigation, communication, and weapon systems operate uninterrupted in the chaos of battle. While the camera captures extreme close-ups of rivets vibrating under controlled force, metal panels resonating with the rhythmic strikes of tools, and hands moving faster than the eye can follow, all synchronized to a pulse that embodies courage, intelligence, and sheer human ingenuity, and the tension deepens as crews climb aboard these revitalized bombers, unaware of the high-risk interventions that have restored their lifelines, gripping controls that now respond with unprecedented reliability, knowing intuitively that the mechanics who defied protocol have given them a second chance. And the narrator emphasizes the cascading effects of these interventions. Mission completion rates soar, crew survivability increases, and the war effort benefits from an unexpected advantage born from forbidden ingenuity. While the camera sweeps across the hangar, showing dozens of bombers humming in readiness, propellers spinning in unison, gauges steady, engines breathing with renewed vigor, and fellow mechanics exchanging glances of disbelief and admiration, realizing that what was once considered reckless experimentation has become the single most critical factor in keeping aircraft in the sky. And the suspense tightens as the narrator delves into the human element, capturing the tension etched into the faces of both crews and mechanics, the adrenaline coursing through veins, the precise coordination of hands and tools, and the split-second decisions that determine whether each bomber survives or succumbs to the hazards of flight. While the cinematic imagery heightens the drama, sparks flicker, metal gleams, instruments stabilize, and the hangar itself becomes a living theater of ingenuity, risk, and survival. And the audience is fully immersed in the stakes of the moment, understanding that this is more than maintenance. This is life-saving artistry, a forbidden choreography of mechanical brilliance and human skill that ensures B-17s can defy impossible odds, complete missions deep into hostile territory, and return home intact, leaving viewers captivated, breathless, and gripping every detail as the narrator continues to expand the narrative, revealing the layers of technical mastery, improvisational courage, and strategic significance embedded in each maneuver, each adjustment and each engine brought back from the brink. While Point 1 grows ever richer in suspense, drama, and cinematic intensity, promising the ultimate revelation of how one mechanic's forbidden method not only saved machines but lives, missions, and ultimately, the course of the air war itself. As the hours passed and the hangar's fluorescent lights reflected off the polished aluminum fuselages, the mechanic's forbidden interventions began to reveal consequences far beyond immediate repairs. Because every precise adjustment to engines, fuel lines, and control systems reverberated across the operational readiness of the B-17 fleet, and the suspense intensifies as the narrator delves into the cascading effects of ingenuity under pressure. Fuel efficiency optimized so that bombers could fly longer missions, engines reinforced to survive flak-dense altitudes, and improvised electrical reroutes enabling radios and navigation instruments to function flawlessly despite previous battle damage. While the camera follows each hand movement, rivet strike and wrench turn in hypnotic slow motion, sparks dancing across panels as if choreographed to underscore the drama, and the audience is drawn into the tactile sensation of labor, understanding that each precise motion represents a balance between risk and survival. A gamble with lives and mission success, and the tension escalates as crews prepare for their next sortie, unaware of the high-stakes interventions that transformed their chances of returning home, grips tightening on cockpit controls, hearts pounding in synchronization with engines humming to life. And the narrator emphasizes the human dimension. Morale rises, trust in machinery is restored, and the psychological edge becomes palpable as airmen and mechanics alike realize that defiance of protocol, when guided by skill and courage, can yield extraordinary results. While the camera sweeps across the hangar, capturing dozens of B-17s, engines purring, propellers spinning, and gauges stabilizing, conveying the hypnotic spectacle of a mechanical orchestra brought to life by a single individual's audacity. And the suspense deepens further as the narrator explains the technical genius of each adjustment, subtle recalibrations of carburetors preventing stall, stress-aligned tightening of bolts preserving structural integrity under combat conditions, and rerouted fuel delivery systems ensuring that engines remain operational despite damage, all executed with a speed and precision that rivals the most advanced engineering calculations. While the audience experiences the thrill of discovery, witnessing how the forbidden method converts damaged machines into mission-ready bombers capable of defying enemy fire, completing objectives and returning crews safely. And the tension becomes almost unbearable as the narrator captures the relentless pressure on the mechanic. Awareness of enemy threats, the life-or-death stakes of every engine, and the expectation of flawless execution without formal approval. While cinematic shots show hands moving faster than comprehension, sparks and metal reflecting the brilliance of ingenuity, and the hangar itself alive with the rhythm of survival. And as Point 1 continues to unfold, the audience is pulled deeper into the story, feeling every heartbeat, every metallic clink, every spark, and every decision, understanding that one forbidden method, guided by courage, experience, and intuition, has created a ripple effect that saves planes, lives, and the trajectory of the air campaign, leaving viewers captivated, tense, and riveted as they grasp the monumental significance of one mechanic's audacity in the annals of aviation history. As the hangar clock ticked relentlessly, each second stretching into eternity for crews and mechanics alike, the mechanic's forbidden method began to reveal an almost mythical influence over the B-17 fleet, because what had once been considered reckless improvisation now demonstrated a level of precision, skill, and foresight that blurred the line between genius and audacity. and the suspense heightens as the narrator draws viewers into the granular details of survival engineering. Pistons aligned with near-impossible accuracy, fuel pumps rerouted to maintain critical flow under combat strain, engine timing adjusted beyond standard tolerances without risking catastrophic failure, while gauges stabilized, fuel lines glimmered with fresh oil, and every metallic surface reflected the intensity of labor, all captured by cinematic slow-motion sequences that immerse the audience in the heartbeat of mechanical resurrection. And the tension rises as crews watch their bombers transformed from near disasters into fully mission-ready machines, gripping controls with renewed faith, faces etched with relief, and adrenaline surging in perfect synchronization with humming engines. While the narrator emphasizes that these interventions do more than restore planes, they redefine what is possible in the theater of war, turning damage into opportunity, risk into life-saving precision, and despair into hope. And the suspense expands as the ripple effects of each forbidden adjustment cascade across the fleet. Longer range, higher survivability, reduced engine failure, and increased operational readiness, all while supervisors and fellow mechanics look on, awestruck, realizing that the very rules meant to ensure safety have been transcended by human ingenuity. And the audience is drawn into the drama as cinematic angles reveal sparks flying from precise connections, rivets embedding with perfect alignment, and tools moving with an almost hypnotic rhythm, conveying both danger and mastery, while the narrator details the psychological impact on crews. Confidence restored, fear mitigated, and a renewed sense of possibility infused into the airmen who now board bombers that seemed doomed only hours before. And the suspense continues as the mechanics' interventions are revealed to have subtle but critical strategic effects, enabling bombers to reach targets farther afield, survive heavier enemy fire, and return with reduced losses, transforming operational outcomes, while viewers are immersed in the sensory experience of metallic hums, measured clinks, glowing gauges, and the kinetic ballet of hands, tools, and aircraft. And the tension deepens further as the narrator underscores the audacity required. One individual, acting outside of protocol, leveraging intuition, skill, and courage to achieve results that defy conventional wisdom. While the camera captures extreme close-ups of each adjustment, every spark, and each rivet, and the audience is left in awe at the fusion of human intelligence, mechanical mastery, and sheer nerve. Understanding that the lives of crews, the success of missions, and the course of the air war hinge on these forbidden acts of genius, leaving viewers riveted, breathless, and fully absorbed as Point 1 continues to expand, promising further revelations of technical brilliance, life-saving risk, and the monumental consequences of one mechanic's audacity in ensuring that B-17 bombers fly when all seemed lost. As the first rays of dawn crept across the hangar windows, painting long shadows over the gleaming fuselages of resurrected B-17s, the mechanic's forbidden method revealed its final layers of brilliance and risk. Because each adjustment, each unauthorized recalibration, had not only restored engines, but had imbued the bombers with an almost supernatural reliability, defying prior expectations of mechanical endurance under extreme wartime conditions. And the suspense mounts as the narrator takes the audience deeper into the hidden artistry of survival engineering. Pistons synchronized to exact tolerances, fuel lines routed to counter previous damage and prevent surge failures, intricate adjustments to the ignition system ensuring flawless operation even under heavy flak and extreme altitudes, and every metallic panel, gauge, and rivet bears silent witness to the audacity and precision of one human mind at work. While the camera pans through the hangar like a living organism, capturing every glint, spark, and motion as though the metal itself is breathing life back into the fleet. And the tension intensifies as crews, who only hours before had feared their aircraft would never fly again, step aboard with a mix of disbelief and awe, hands gripping controls, eyes scanning instruments that now function with unprecedented accuracy, and the narrator underscores the stakes. Every bomber represents lives saved, missions accomplished, and the strategic advantage gained from one individual's willingness to defy rules in pursuit of survival and victory, while the audience is drawn into the visceral drama of mechanical resurrection, feeling the pulse of engines, the vibration of rivets, and the kinetic rhythm of human skill orchestrating a ballet of survival. And the suspense deepens further as the ripple effects of these forbidden interventions extend beyond the hangar. Mission success rates increase, aircraft endurance improves, crew morale skyrockets, and commanders realize that this mechanic's ingenuity has altered the course of operational planning, transforming once doubtful sorties into viable, survivable operations, while cinematic slow motion captures the final, decisive adjustments, the careful tightening of bolts, the last calibration of gauges, the precise alignment of fuel pumps, all choreographed in a hypnotic display of skill, focus, and nerve. And the audience is left on edge as the narrator conveys the psychological gravity. This single act of defiance against protocol, executed under immense pressure, holds the difference between life and death, success and failure, and the very fate of multiple missions hangs on the meticulous, fearless hands of one individual. While the camera sweeps across the hangar floor alive with humming engines, the metallic gleam of aircraft, and the focused determination of crews and mechanics, and the suspense crescendos as the narrator details the legacy of the forbidden method. It not only ensures immediate operational readiness, but sets a precedent for ingenuity, improvisation, and courage in aviation history, leaving viewers captivated, breathless, and riveted as they witness one mechanic's audacity, skill, and innovation transform battered, near-defunct bombers into symbols of survival and tactical superiority, and as Point 1 continues, it expands with richer details of mechanical mastery, life-saving improvisation, and the monumental consequences of forbidden genius, promising further revelations that will leave audiences utterly absorbed in the saga of B-17 survival against all odds. As the morning progressed and sunlight poured through the hangar, casting elongated shadows over the rows of B-17s, humming with renewed vitality, the mechanic's forbidden method revealed its full magnitude. Because each meticulous adjustment, each unauthorized rerouting of fuel, each precise recalibration of engines had transformed what was once deemed lost into a fleet capable of defying the most harrowing odds. And the suspense tightens as the narrator delves into the almost surgical precision of the interventions. Valves adjusted to prevent catastrophic overheating, carburetors fine-tuned for maximum high-altitude efficiency, hydraulic systems rerouted to maintain control under heavy combat stress, and every component from rivet to propeller was imbued with a resilience previously thought impossible. While the camera captures the hypnotic rhythm of hands working with preternatural accuracy, sparks flickering as metal responds to human mastery, and the audience is drawn into the visceral tension of life, death, and mechanical survival, understanding that a single miscalculation could undo the miracle and condemn airmen to peril. And the tension escalates as crews prepare for missions that would have been impossible mere hours before, gripping controls, checking gauges, and experiencing a renewed faith in machines that only moments ago seemed beyond saving. While the narrator emphasizes the strategic implications: longer range, greater survivability, increased operational readiness, and a psychological edge for both airmen and commanders. As the forbidden method becomes more than maintenance, it is a lifeline, a tactical force multiplier, a defiance of convention that rewrites the rules of survival and warfighting, and the suspense deepens as cinematic sequences capture close-ups of rivets embedding, panels locking in perfect alignment, fuel lines humming with stabilized pressure, and instruments glowing under expert calibration, creating an almost hypnotic ballet of danger, precision, and ingenuity, while the audience begins to comprehend the human and historical magnitude. Lives saved, missions completed, morale restored, and the very trajectory of air campaigns altered by the audacity of one mechanic, whose hands, intuition, and courage defied bureaucracy and technical manuals, turning despair into possibility, while supervisors, fellow mechanics, and crews alike watch in disbelief, caught between fear of protocol violation and awe at the results. And the narrator stresses that every aircraft revived through these forbidden interventions represents not just survival, but a story of innovation, courage, and human ingenuity overcoming adversity. As cinematic shots show engines thrumming, propellers spinning, gauges steady, and crews preparing to take to skies that once seemed hostile and insurmountable, and the suspense intensifies as the narrative unfolds into deeper layers. The ripple effects of this single mechanic's method extend across missions, survival rates, strategic advantage, and even the culture of aviation maintenance, leaving viewers captivated, breathless, and entirely immersed in the story of ingenuity, risk, and audacious skill that ensured B-17 bombers would continue to fly when all seemed lost, while Point 1 continues to expand, detailing every heartbeat, rivet, spark, and decision that contributed to this cinematic, suspense-filled testament to forbidden genius and mechanical mastery. As the day advanced, the hangar seemed to pulse with the rhythm of mechanical revival. Each B-17 a testament to the mechanic's audacity, because his forbidden method had become an invisible conductor, orchestrating life-saving precision across every engine, panel, and system. And the suspense intensifies as the narrator draws the audience deeper into the technical choreography. Fuel pumps adjusted to stabilize pressure during high-altitude maneuvers, carburetors calibrated to prevent stalling in the most extreme conditions, hydraulic systems subtly reinforced to maintain control under the stress of enemy flak, and electrical circuits rerouted to ensure uninterrupted navigation and communication. While the camera lingers on hands working with hypnotic focus, tools moving in a symphony of sparks and metallic resonance, and the audience senses the immense stakes, knowing that every adjustment could mean survival or disaster, and the tension escalates further as crews who had faced near certain death prepare to board bombers that were once considered beyond repair, gripping controls with renewed faith, scanning instruments that now operate flawlessly, and experiencing the quiet awe inspired by one mechanic's courage and skill. While the narrator emphasizes the strategic significance, missions that were previously impossible can now be undertaken. Survival rates improve dramatically, and the B-17 fleet becomes a force multiplier in a war where every advantage counts, and cinematic sequences magnify the suspense, capturing rivets embedding with perfect alignment, panels locking into place with mechanical precision, fuel lines vibrating with stabilized flow, and instruments glowing under expert calibration, creating a hypnotic ballet of danger, skill, and human ingenuity, while viewers are drawn into the visceral heartbeat of the hangar, feeling the tension, the risk, and the miraculous transformation occurring under the mechanic's hands, and the audience begins to grasp the profound human dimension. This is not mere repair work, but a life-saving, mission-preserving, history-altering act of audacious genius, where every spark, every rivet, every subtle adjustment holds the fate of crews and missions in the balance. And the suspense intensifies as the ripple effects of these forbidden interventions extend far beyond the hangar. Operational readiness increases, airman morale soars, command confidence strengthens, and the strategic outcomes of multiple sorties are positively transformed. While supervisors, fellow mechanics, and crews alike witness the miracle unfolding, torn between fear of rule violation and awe at the undeniable results, and the narrator highlights that each B-17 restored through this forbidden method carries a story of human ingenuity, courage, and meticulous skill, enabling the aircraft to fly, survive enemy fire, complete objectives, and return safely, while cinematic imagery captures engines thrumming with renewed power, propellers spinning with flawless precision, gauges stabilizing, and crews preparing for missions that once seemed doomed, leaving viewers riveted, breathless, and utterly immersed in the story. As Point 1 continues to expand, layering suspense, technical marvel, human courage, and life-saving audacity in a single, uninterrupted, cinematic paragraph that sets the stage for the dramatic continuation of this 10,000-word epic narrative. In the dim glow of the hangar as twilight settled over the tarmac, the last of the B-17s prepared to depart, engines vibrating with renewed life, propellers slicing the air with mechanical precision, and the mechanic, whose forbidden method had defied protocols, rules, and conventional wisdom, stood quietly, observing the culmination of hours, days, and perhaps lifetimes of dedication, skill, and audacity, and the suspense reaches its peak as the narrator reveals the stakes in chilling detail. Each bomber represents a crew's lives, each engine a miraculous survival against flak, bullets, and the chaos of wartime skies. And the audience is pulled into the tension of the moment, watching the mechanic make the final. Delicate adjustments, tightening a bolt here, aligning a fuel pump there, calibrating a control surface ever so subtly. All movements performed with the knowledge that one misstep could undo the miracle, yet executed with unwavering confidence and uncanny precision. While cinematic close-ups capture the gleaming aluminum, the rhythmic hum of revived engines, the sparks flickering from tool to metal, and the determined faces of crews preparing to board, eyes wide with awe, hearts pounding, trusting entirely in the forbidden genius that has restored their machines against impossible odds. And the tension escalates as the camera pans across the hangar. Dozens of B-17s, once considered crippled, now fully mission-ready, their systems humming, instruments glowing, and controls responding flawlessly, a living testament to ingenuity, courage, and defiance of convention, while the narrator emphasizes the monumental impact. Missions that would have been lost, crews that would have been casualties, and strategic opportunities that would have been squandered are now preserved, thanks to one mechanic's audacity, skill, and meticulous daring. And as the final engines roar to life and bombers taxi toward the runway, leaving the hangar in a symphony of power, the suspense reaches its climax, leaving viewers breathless, enthralled, and in awe of the life-saving genius that turned despair into victory. And the camera lingers on the mechanic, silhouetted against the fading light, a quiet hero whose forbidden method ensured that B-17s would soar through the skies once more, completing their missions, returning crews safely, and forever rewriting the history of aviation maintenance, ingenuity, and wartime heroism. While the closing narration leaves the audience reflecting on the extraordinary fusion of human skill, courage, and forbidden knowledge that saved lives and changed the course of the air war, sealing the final unforgettable point of this cinematic, suspense-filled saga.